Hello and welcome to assignment 1 of product management. This assignment is titled Product Pitch, and today I will speak about two different products in the automotive industry, the viability of both, and a market analysis for the automotive industry as well. So for the introduction, we'll speak about the requirements for the assignment and define sustainability and simplification, which is the theme for this assignment. So two definitions. Sustainability is the ability to maintain a certain rate or level. For example, in terms of environmental sustainability, which means using potentially clean energy, clean materials, recycled materials, or it could be economic, so economic sustainability in terms of profitability and sustainable profits. And then simplification is the process of making something simpler or easier to do or understand. So for this assignment, we'll talk about the automotive industry. It's an extremely competitive industry with over 113 car manufacturers throughout the world, with over 50 in Australia. Performance is strong, although it's one of the hardest sectors in the world to maintain good profits because of such a competitive industry and low markups. For the last 3 to 4 years, electric or hybrid cars have been a huge topic in the industry due to their advantage of conventional internal combustion engines, which reduces air pollution, emissions, and lower costs of energy. This is led by Tesla and very, very sustainable. Hybrid vehicles are combined with a normal engine, but is propelled by an electric system similar to the system in electric cars, giving extra fuel consumption. Global vehicle ownership was 148 per 1,000 people. And in the United States, they have the largest fleet of motor vehicles in the world with 239 million. China is second with 78 million vehicles. Major players include Toyota, General Motors, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Ford, Nissan, Mazda, and Mitsubishi. All of these are in Australia as well. So the threats for the automotive industry include intense competition, high fixed costs, especially in terms of R&D, because it's such a competitive industry, and large emerging markets such as China and India. The return on these investments are yet to be capitalized. And then sluggish economy. There's a lot of uncertainty globally and in Australia. Unemployment also continues to plague the industry. And then also fuel price volatility, especially in the last 6 months or so. So opportunities, the one that I see the most opportunity is in the electric car sector. That's definitely worth exploring, especially that it hasn't really started to emerge within Australia. There's quite a few European countries with especially in terms of Netherlands, Norway, they've got a huge electric car market. Same as the United States, which are producing lots of brands, including Tesla. They're saying that within a year, sales are set to increase from 1.2 million to 1.6 million, and then the year after that, 2 million in 2019. Currently, though, they comprise of 0.06% of the global automotive fleet. Most of these include the Tesla Model S and the Nissan Leaf. Although having said that, plans from all major manufacturers have been introduced for electric vehicles, and within 5 years there'll be 400 potential new models with estimated global sales of 25 million. So that's about 13 times what it is today. For example, Porsche aims to make 50% of their fleet electric by 2023. There have also been many resources for R&D, including 8 universities in Korea studying electric cars, especially in terms of batteries. So having said that, the challenges for electric vehicles mostly comprise of the battery technology, while also the size of available vehicles, the lack of use for commercial vehicles, and an inadequate number of charging stations. Although all these challenges can change within 5 to 7 years with increased demand. Electric vehicles cost less to run, cost more to buy. This makes adoption difficult and prolonged. The battery technology is expensive, and for electric cars to have significant use, especially in commercial industries, they need to hold significant charge to make the product practical. For customers, the biggest challenge is range anxiety. Electric cars may not make sense for everyone, especially for long drives. It's a larger risk with low mileage due to time it takes to charge instead of a 2-minute fill up at a petrol station. So which customer segments are the most attractive? Currently, the owners and potential owners of electric cars, so that includes the upper middle class segment, who have the means to purchase a vehicle costing the price of an electric vehicle, which currently is about $50,000 Australian plus. Having said that, the next 5 years, it's mostly the customer with a self-efficacy lifestyle, or having the means to purchase a sustainable car. After about 5 years, with increased battery technology, it'll move into a moderate lifestyle with the continual means to purchase the market price for the electric vehicle due to lower costs of the technology. So the product concepts, there's 2 that we'll talk about today. One is a vehicle, and then one is talking about electric charging in Australia especially. So the first product is universal electric charging stations in Australia. The biggest problem currently in Australia is both cars, which are 100% electric. They both have proprietary charging ports. So you look at the Tesla one, that's built for the Tesla supercharger, which is designed only for Teslas. And then the Nissan Leaf, you can see that it's entirely different to the Tesla one, which means that if you went to a Tesla charging station, you wouldn't be able to charge your Nissan Leaf, which is going to be a significant problem in the future, especially when there's 400 different types of models coming within the next 5 years, and which means that there's about 50 manufacturers working on cars. If they all had different ports, that would be a huge problem globally. No universal connections at public charging stations. My solution is a USB for charging stations. Currently a USB is the worldwide standard for connecting external technology and transferring data quickly and securely. A similar concept would also be the solution for charging electric cars. Currently, each brand is using their own port, and the product and they're all proprietary, and so this one would be unpatented, and so it'd be for universal use for around the globe. For the moment, until new technology arises, it would be similar to a fast charge phone, where it takes longer to issue a full charge, although where a burst charge offers satisfactory extended time. For example, 10 minutes for a charge to 70%, or 50 minutes for a full charge. This means that you'll be able to prolong the use of the vehicle if you're going for long distances, or if you're using it for commercial use, especially when time is limited for the day. You can use it either at home or at charging stations around the country. With optimal technology and upgrades similar to the USB, when you went from USB A to 1.0, 2.0 to 3.0 to now USB-C. Technology increases with time. 10 to 20 minute full charge for all vehicles would be functional for the needs of most consumers and commercial needs. If the vehicle already has a proprietary connection, dongles will be available to convert the plug to the required type. There is an absolute need for this product, especially when you look at a potential 400 different vehicle models on the road within 5 years. This product will also partner with leading R&D facilities and universities to increase fast charging capacity. It will also have easy hardware and software upgrades throughout the lifespan of the charging station. And revenue channels will include the adapter, the margin on charging, purchase of the supercharger for the home, rent for placement of chargers at petrol stations and strategic locations. Next up, we have the second product. It's a minimal car, and so this idea has been developing, especially for me, where I've had problems with driving cars. My parents, they have a Mazda 3, and there's almost more buttons on there than steering wheel, and most of these you don't use, and so the problem has been that manufacturers increase prices by increasing features that customers don't need, in turn increasing the markup, which in turn increases profitability, developing almost ridiculous features, ironically reducing the experience. So for example, the Mazda 3 has all those buttons on the steering wheel, while also having voice activated Bluetooth. There's no button for Bluetooth, and for me, a button that's probably the most required button throughout the entire car, because it gives you music, and it gives you calls in the car. In the 2018 Toyota Camry, the most ridiculous feature is school zone warnings when close, entering and departing a school zone 24/7. So it's not even in the school zone times from 8 till 9. You even get the warning 9 o'clock at night, which to me that's extremely ridiculous. And lane departure, even when you're close to departing the lane, you hear beeps. Also, many manufacturers choose to create their own car software when there is already Apple and Google CarPlay. And so they're using subpar software when Apple and Google have clearly got the best car software. So the solution, a well-designed minimal luxury vehicle, which is with the technology for 2018. So this is maintaining the price point that Mazda and Toyota would be at for those vehicles, although increasing the luxury features and decreasing pointless gadgets, so you keep that markup. Features could include full-grain leather with well-designed exterior and interior, similar to the Tesla, although keeping features such as air conditioning and Bluetooth. No need for radio in 2018, and maps and GPS can be used from the smartphone. Also, you would include Apple and Google CarPlay. So the viability for both. So number one, the charging stations. So the competitor, Shell, acquired some charging stations in the Netherlands. It's called the New Motion Charging Network, with over 30,000 charging stations throughout the country. And so The competitor for that would be that if Shell decided to do something similar in Australia, I don't see that happening for at least another 5 to 7 years, because no one really uses electric cars in Australia just yet, which gives this idea much more viability. With sufficient capital, the product would be ready for the demand by within 3 to 5 years. The minimal car, to me, not extremely viable due to the competitive market. It's not completely innovative. It's just changing around the features of the car. So in terms of markup, it's not a worldwide phenomena. Personally, I would purchase a car like this, although there's a larger amount of consumers which would prefer more features than a minimal car. So it wouldn't be an amazing product. This is shown by manufacturers deciding not to develop a project like this. So I've decided to pitch for the universal charging station. So the problem is there's over 400 vehicle models, with each manufacturer developing a different port. This will mean over 50 types of connectors within the next 3 to 5 years. The solution is a universal and global non-proprietary connector and a network of charging stations throughout Australia comprising of this connector, partnering with key petrol stations and locations around the country. It's a USB type concept, which is universally used where no company has ownership to the connector, unlike the Apple Lightning cable or Tesla supercharger. The product will include a universal fast charging port for electric vehicles and charging stations around the globe at partnered petrol stations and key placements. You can use it either at home or at charging stations. With optimal technology and upgrades, a 10 to 20 minute full charge for all vehicles would be functional for the needs of most consumers and commercial needs. If the vehicle already has proprietary connection, dongles will be available to convert the plug to the required type. It's easy hardware and software upgrades throughout the lifespan of the charging station, and revenue channels will include the adapter, margin on charging, purchase of the supercharger for the home, rent for placement of chargers at petrol stations and strategic locations. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching.